The Galaxy A51 is the newest mid-range phone by Samsung that will replace the very popular A50 from 2019, and it offers a more modern design as well as a few key improvements to the camera. Hello guys, my name is Vic with PhoneArena and it's time to unbox the A51, look inside the box to see what comes with it and take it for a spin, so let's get this party started. First, inside the box you see the A51 and you immediately notice its striking design with a fancy geometrical prism pattern on the back that looks interesting and different. What else is in the box? A 15-watt Samsung fast charger, a pair of headphones that use the good old headphone jack that you can still find on this phone, and a standard USB to USB-C cable for charging. You also have some literature and a SIM ejector that we don't show here. One thing you should know from the get-go is that this phone looks beautiful, but it's also made from plastic. We don't mind, but just know that plastic has the upside of being almost impossible to break and still scratches quite easily. Looking at the phone, you have the power and the volume buttons on the right side, while on the bottom you'll find the USB-C port for charging as well as the headphone jack. The big highlight is the camera bump on the back, which is big and houses 4 different cameras. More on that later. At the front, you have a punch hole front camera, a change from the teardrop notch on the A50, and it looks more elegant and discreet. Samsung is very well aware of the punch hole, and it even included a wallpaper with Minnie Mouse playfully pointing towards it. Nice little touch. Fire up the phone and wow, you're greeted with what is probably the coolest live wallpaper you have ever seen. It only highlights the best thing about buying even a budget Samsung phone like this one. You still get an industry-leading beautiful AMOLED screen. The one on the A51 measures 6.5 inches and it features a 1080p resolution and a 20:9 aspect ratio. It is perfectly sharp, colors are rich, viewing angles are good, and it's overall a beauty to behold. Plus, it's covered with Gorilla Glass 3 for protection. Now, built under the screen is an optical fingerprint scanner. We have already set it up and it seems to work quite well. Maybe just a tad bit slower than on more expensive phones, but look under the hood and you'll find probably the weakest part of the Galaxy A51. This phone is powered by the Samsung-made Exynos 9611 processor paired with 4 gigs of RAM, and the experience is not quite as smooth and as fast as you would have on a phone like the Pixel 3a. The chip on the A51 is a mid-range one that's comparable to the Snapdragon 6 series. There is a bit of a stutter here and there. Now, not a deal breaker, but it is noticeable. What is excellent, however, is that you get a generous 128GB of onboard storage, plus you have support for microSD cards should you want to expand that storage. On the software front, the A51 comes with the latest Android 10 on top of its own Samsung One UI interface, also in its latest form. Now, the biggest new feature here that you will notice is the new gesture navigation. You can switch to the gesture navigation by going to settings, then display, then navigation bar, and it works nicely. Okay, let's jump to the part where Samsung has made the biggest changes this year, the camera. You have 4 of them on the back, a brand new 48 megapixel for the main sensor, high resolution 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, a dedicated macro camera, and a depth sensor for better portrait photos. Take a look at a couple of shots we captured on the A51, and right next to them, the same shots captured on the Google Pixel 3a. What do you think? My initial thoughts are that the A51 has improved, but is still not a match for the incredible dynamic range of the Pixel. Up front, you have a 32 megapixel camera on the Galaxy, which captures decent looking selfies and can also record 1080p videos. And speaking of video, the main camera on the back can now record in up to 4K resolution, and it also supports the super steady stabilization mode that we saw on more expensive Galaxy phones earlier. Last but not least, we should mention that the A51 comes with a quite big 4000 mAh battery that seems very promising. And you also get support for 15-watt fast charging, but there is no wireless charging. And that rounds up our first look at the new Galaxy A51. It's a very likable phone that is not too big, has beautiful design, brings slight improvements to the camera from last year, and also has an excellent battery life, but makes one compromise in the speed and performance department where it feels a bit underpowered. We will be shooting more photos and videos with it, comparing it against the main rival, the Pixel 3a, and testing its battery in the coming days, so stay tuned for that. Now, this wraps up this video, but I wanted to try something new this time around and read up some comments to see what you guys have been up to. And let's take a look at what the top comment was for the last phone video we made. First comment, Vid Petrovic says, "Who TF edited this video? I don't like these transitions." Sorry Vid, it was me. And I really like them, but I guess many people didn't, so I'll have to reconsider them, maybe less of them next time. I don't know if this is just about me alone. I prefer plastic phone with flat screens. It's definitely not just you, many people would prefer plastic phones that don't break as easily and of course are cheaper, and this is one such phone, so I definitely appreciate plastic phones as well. Maybe more plastic phones in the future, especially the cheaper ones. Next comment from Joseph Sedagati. "These transitions are really cringe. Buys glass phone, puts a case on it, make them all plastic." Already commented this. Agreed. Ian Scott says the first Pixel had a headphone jack too. That's true. So the headphone jack on the main Pixel line is gone, but the A series still have it, so that's nice to have. I still use wired headphones at work and I find them quite useful also in my car. If you use the aux cable for connecting to your car stereo or something else, it's quite a useful feature if you don't want to deal with dongles. So that was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget about the thumbs up button if you enjoyed watching this. Drop a comment if you're feeling extra cool and subscribe to see even more from us. And I will see you in the next one.